now that we're grown up and we're learning and going to masterminds and stuff like that, they're like, man, I want to implement everything to the kids, man. Because if we implement everything to the kids and to the parents, hey, the parents too, they're going to be like, you know what? I don't really want to work in my job anymore, man. If my kid wants to do that, how about I jump in it too?
Hey, what's going down? I want to stop things really, really quick and let you know I've been thinking about you. So at the beginning of the year, I always get calls from different coaches and business owners that want to really maximize their online brand and turn their followers into paying clients, but they just don't understand how. So I went back and I studied the industry, and I noticed a lot of different coaches are offering different online programs that ultimately are leaving business owners stuck after the program because the business owner still doesn't truly understand what they need to do in order to build their online brand presence. So what I did was I created a 10-week learning plan. Now this 10-week learning plan is specific for your business where we work together one-on-one and I'll walk you through how you're able to turn your content into leads and sales, bringing your customers down a full journey. Now this learning plan is going to walk you through everything you need to know. So it's no more jumping from YouTube video to YouTube video trying to figure all this stuff out yourself. Now if you want to learn more about this learning plan, go ahead and click the link below and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, what's going down? Welcome to another episode of the Connections Hub podcast, where we bring on a guest that's going to teach you a tip or a trick that's going to help you grow your business. And today we got Jesus Ortiz that's going to be coming to us, talking to us about kidpreneurs and how you can start your own podcast. So I don't want to steal his thunder, so go ahead and take it away, Jesus.
Oh, man. First of all, thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this a while ago. It's like, oh, man, let's get this on. So I'm excited for being here. So, guys, my name is Jesus Ortiz. I'm originally born from Mexico, and I came here when I was 9 years old. But fast forward out of that, you know, like she said, I love doing a lot of things with the kids because of my story. I might not say a lot of things with my story, but my story is my daughter. I didn't get to see her for about, say, 2.5 years. That's what built for me to do my show. It was like unbelievable. I was telling this story last time to this guy a couple of days. He's like, hey, what's your story? And I say, oh, it's my daughter. It's like, oh, you easily say it. Like, people think about it so hard. I don't know what's my story. And he's like, oh, but everybody's saying their family. No, I told him, me is really my daughter. With what happened and everything, I didn't get to see her for 2.5 years. And she went through a lot of things. And one of the times, that's when I said, you know what? I got to have my own show. And I remember at that time when I said I gotta have my own show, it was like, what's the show? I'm like, is it like TV? I was just asking questions on myself. And that's when it turned out to be the Jesus Ortiz Diary Show, Teaching for Success. And that's how I started doing my show. And by that time, I didn't even have anything with the kids or anything. That's when I got involved 5 years ago before COVID. I worked in a daycare. I started working with different daycares. And since I didn't have my daughter with me, the kids gave me like so much power.
Yeah.
So it gave me, every time I saw the kids, it was like seeing her in front of them. Like, oh, I saw them running and stuff. I was like, oh, there goes my daughter running. Even though she wasn't in there, it was like giving me the energy, like her spirit was there with them. So that's when it popped into me and I said, man, I got to do something with the kids because we have to build them now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. When we say their future is tomorrow, no, their future is now. And we already know everything that's going on in the damn world.
No, exactly. I'm glad you touched on that so we can kind of jump into it. So when it comes to working with the kids, go ahead. I've done a lot of different things with you with kidpreneurs and just watching you help these young entrepreneurs that are kids grow into successful entrepreneurs. So what do you do with the kids, and kind of just go give the audience a little background on what you do?
Oh, yeah. First of all, it was called the Kidprenerus Vision, but I had to change the name, so now it's called the All Eyes on Them Foundation. So we had to have all eyes on them. And it's good to know that, you know, the kidpreneurs, I give shout outs to them. I know the owners themselves, they have all the trademarks for kidpreneurs. So, but that's why you build relationships. So I didn't get in trouble. They reached out to me so nicely, so I changed the name. So that's fine. But
so who reached out to you?
The owners of the Kidpreneurs.
Oh, so you were going to name it Kidpreneurs?
Yeah, because I already had the name Kidpreneurs Visions, but it had Kidpreneurs, but they already have it. It's only Kidpreneurs.
Okay.
So they have the trademark and everything. You cannot use somebody else's name, even though I added visions,
Right.
but it has Kidpreneurs.
Right.
So they told me, and I told them, oh, but I see a lot of other people that like, don't worry about them. My lawyers and already reached out to them.
Right.
I wanted to reach out to you because we built a good relationship.
Right.
So I said, oh, dude, no, man, I'll change that tomorrow. So I already had the second name, so it wasn't hard. So I was like, oh, I already know that I want all eyes on them because we have to have all eyes on them. And I started, the Instagram and the YouTube, and I went into one of my friend's school. She owns her own school where she teaches the kids about Shark Tank, the mini kids. And I asked her, can I have permission? Would you, and the kids, and I don't know if we can start like a kids podcasting. And she's like, yeah, let me talk to them. So all the kids were excited. They're like, we're going to be in camera and we're going to talk to, So that's where I started with them, and I went out there and I did maybe 8 episodes, only the 8 kids that wanted to do it. And I got connections now with their parents because most of those kids, they have their own little business. The little girl does her own cake business a whole year already, and she's 13. So I decided, you know what? Why don't I just, through Zoom, why don't I just go out there and have this group of kids and kind of get for them to know each other, to kind of go around and they can have their own ideas, and you never know, maybe they can work together. As you were there, you were one of the speakers, so I said I'm gonna bring in different speakers, credit repair, myself, podcast, so the kids can start learning about it. And then the kids love it. They start writing the notes, and then I met there's another guy on Instagram, it's called Dr. Fuller, the kids finance guy. So I already had a meeting with him too. He's doing a lot of great things with the kids. So we doing similar things, but in a different. I'm in Houston, and I forgot where he's at. So we're like, hey, how can we work and collaborate? Because we're not doing it for us, we're doing it for the kids.
Right. No. That and that's good. So, and it's funny, guys, because we on Zoom. So think about a Zoom call. We on a Zoom call with kids. It was so mind-boggling to me because usually when you on Zoom with, of course, grown-ups, so you talking business, but I'm on a Zoom call talking business with kids talking about, hey, this is how you create your content, this is how you watch your following, this is how you build your brand. So he has kids that are these like 8, 9, 10 years old, already thinking about ways and how that they can really grow their business, which was really just so mind-boggling to me. So, hey, Susan, what would you tell a parent that their kid, they want to get online? Because I know a lot of parents are sketchy about their kids being on camera and online. How can they overcome something like that, or either watch them to where they can still maybe start their business but not have total access to this crazy online world?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, the parent itself, like myself, before I even went to the kids, because most of these kids, the parents have their pages because they're 8, 9. So I knew that they were running their pages. So I went to them. Instead of texting, I just sent them a voicemail. I'm already talking about an invoice. A voicemail, and talk to the parents and tell them what was my idea that I wanted to do with the kids. And most of the parents were like, yeah, we want the kids more to know. Because we have a job and we have the mentality of owning our own business or a side hustle, and just do not be afraid. Ask questions, ask a question. If you're a parent watching this, ask a question to me or ask a question to anybody that you see on Instagram that is already working with kids, because we already got the permission from the parents. We just didn't go through the kids themselves and hey, they say yes. No, the parents had to say yes. And it's unbelievable because these kids are just amazing. You already know. It's just like you're not talking to a kid that is just messing around in Zoom. They're like truthfully business minded. They taking notes. They want to know. Like they even ask her questions. And it's funny to know because one of the parents reached out to me today. He's like, Jesus, when are you bringing back the Sundays? And I say, oh, I'm working on it. I'm bringing back. I'm trying to see who's the next speaker so they can talk to the kids and everything. So I'm ready to bring back. I was doing it every 2 weeks on a Sundays. I'm gonna keep it every 2 weeks on a Sunday because kids,
So what are you doing in the Zoom call? So like what does it make up? Like what am I if I'm a parent?
Yeah.
I see my kid has an entrepreneurial spirit, or I want them to start getting into the room. What are they doing on the Zoom call?
On the Zoom call, if I don't bring any speakers, it's me. I'll try connect them with my knowledge that I know, not only about podcasts but about mindset, about little side hustles that they can start as them being 8 or 9 years old And I let them know, hey, this is, if you want to write your notes on your phone, or you want to write notes on your on a notebook, you can do that. And most of them, their parents are there. They're not in the camera, but they're in there because they come out and say, I'm here. Remember that one of the parents were there? They're there. So they're watching to see their kids. That is not somebody else, trying to pretend that they're just gonna teach the kids. And since you already know how the world is freaking crazy, and now and the parents are like, we love that you're doing this, because they're learning, they're asking questions, and you're not the only one that they're going. There are other people that are doing the same thing as you in Instagram, and so they're learning from all these parts, and it's building them up. That, like I said, some of them might not have a business yet, but they meet another kid and they're like, ask them a question, and they ask the other kid, so what was the hard point of you starting the business? Or why did you jump doing this? And the kids start notes, and they're like, can we partner? Or can you teach me how to start my own business?
Right.
And that's how you were there. Most of them, they learn a little bit about the content, because now they know where to post, how many days, and they're doing it. Some of them are doing it. I mean, watching them right now. And
Right.
I have more kids in there. So now I can't wait to start this over and make it bigger, because I want to just not reach all of the kids here, but I mean kids everywhere, but kids here also. And try to, for myself as a podcaster, kind of have them have their own little kid podcasting on their own, that they don't have to be with me, but they can, do it themselves, get a friend and sit down and just like this, and because they have a voice.
Right, exactly, exactly. So what would you tell a parent that they're not sure if their kid's entrepreneur? What are some signs, or what are some things that you would say they should look for to seek that, to see that?
That's a good question, because as a parent, even I'm a parent, and then I'm, because of the mentality we have, I asked my daughter, I was like, so what do you really want to do? Because now she loves karate, and she's in karate, and she's building herself and everything. But I actually asked her, so what is it, one of your dreams that you have that you want to, start involving in now, that I can help you? And this is stuff that as parents, we don't do, because they go to school every day, and then they just come home, homework, and sometimes you don't even want to talk to your kids about that. You just want to just have fun with them. But no, you really got to push that limit and sit them down and really talk to how was really school today. Do you really like school? Or what is going on in school? Because not everybody was built to be in school, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not bashing education. I went to school, you did, we graduated from everything. But some of these kids now, they have that dream, and they're like, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. Or, you know what? I want to create something like this. I know how to draw. So implement that. Because I remember when I was working at the daycare, there was a little kid that he was great at drawing. And I sat down with him and said, and I asked him, have you ever thought of teaching other kids, your friends, how to draw? And maybe charge them $5 a month and create a YouTube? Man, that kid got all excited. That same day, he went to talk to his mom. Mom, Mr. Jesus said that I can do this. And he's like, and her mom was like, whoa. And she told me, it's like, I never thought about that. And I asked her, you know why, right? Because you didn't sit down with him. You didn't ask them the questions. We think just because they're 6 or 7, they're just thinking about playing video games. Man, no, man, these kids are in another level. Some of them are very smart. You already seen it, that 12-year-old kid selling NFTs, making $400,000. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, as a parent, ask those questions and mobilize it. Don't just like, oh, my kid, I'm going to do it the next day. No, start making them right. Hey, you know what? Write some of your ideas, write something down. Let's see if we can work out with these first steps. Right. And from there, we can move on. And then from there, just you come to me or other ones, and now they start learning the ways of, at a podcast or the credit or filming an LLC and all of these things. As a young kids, knowing this will, nobody taught us that to us, and them having that, they can teach other kids.
Right.
They can empower other kids.
Exactly.
And that is just like we always do. We can help that one person. The same thing we can help that one young kid. Man, it can multiply 10x.
Exactly.
10x.
Exactly. That's really good. And I just love what you're doing with these kids, man. It's so beautiful. So is there, would you say, because we were working with kids, they're about 8, 9, 10 years old, but as we're seeing, kids are going 12, 13, already making $200,000, $300,000. So what would you tell a parent, or what advice would you give a parent when a child does start making income? Is there like money management things you guys are putting into place, or how does it work when my kids, like they're starting to make money and I want to teach them how to really grow this money or scale it at a young age?
At a young age. And that right there, man, as a parent, you'll be like, man, my kid is making more money than me. And like, what's going on? You know, it's like, that's a big ding dong. You know, I'm just putting myself as a parent, as you being a parent, like, let me like ask. Now this is the point where you ask your kids, like, man, what's going on? How are you making this $200,000-300,000 a year more than we're making 60 a year? Like, we knew that we helped you build the business and this, but you ran it. And that's the time when this all happens, because you let them, and then they started going to things like I'm doing and other people. So the kids, they soak in everything. So this is when both of you, the kid and yourself, you gotta be like, how can we manage the money? Because they might be 10-year-old, they don't have a bank account, but you can open a bank account under your name, start putting the money to the turn 18. All the little things you gotta now really truly sit down and be like, hey, we really gotta form the LLC. It's an S corporation. What is it really want to do? Because even though they're young, you never know, maybe 12, 13, they want to do something else.
Right.
But at the beginning, you setting up something and you teaching them how it is, like you bringing them with you. So like, okay, this is where you go. Okay, this is where the LLC. Okay, because when you turn maybe 15 or 18, if you change your mindset, you can do it on your own.
Right.
Because now you know the deals. It's just like the G boys. They know all of them. Those guys, when the mom and dad took them, and they know where to go, where is that at, and that's what we cannot be afraid to teach our kids all of that, because if we didn't learn it and it was hard for us. Now, why not throw everything to them?
Right.
So we make it easier for them.
Right. Is there a certain age where you're like, hey, you should probably set up the LLC or start thinking about it? Is that at the beginning when they start talking about it? Should they start making money?
I guess at the beginning they got to start making some money so they can feel like, 3-4 months pass and you're like, oh, damn, I'm scaling I went from 20 to 30 or 30 to 40, and like, okay, this is the time for me to, ask to see what is your business, because we don't know if they're doing digital things. You don't really need an S corp, you only need LLC. But maybe you're selling products and digital, then you gotta see if you gotta turn it to an S corporation. It's so many ways that even myself don't know, but that's why I ask. Hey, this is what I'm doing. What would affect me? Do I just need to get the LLC, or I need to go ahead?
Right.
And this is the best important things to ask somebody that is an expert on that. As a parent taking your kid, my kid is the one making this. What is our next move?
So you're saying take the kid. So ask, but at this whole I guess, what do you say, like journey?
The journey.
I'm taking my kid with me on this journey. So you're not only assuming an LLC, even if it is a kid business, you're still treating it as if it was anybody 18, 21,
you're
whatever.
You're treating them like they were 18 or 21, so they can start understanding that it's me, it's my money, I'm making it. Yes, my parents, put me and help me out, but I'm the one making it. But you gotta have them follow the journey, follow the steps. So like I said, when they're not even 18, they might be 15, and they want to jump something else, they don't even need your help. They can ask their parents, hey, mom, dad, you know what? I'm really bored. I don't really want to do this. I don't want to sell it. I want to do you want to keep on running it? I want to jump in something else.
Right.
I want to do videos now.
Right.
And now the business is still making money. The parents, by that time, come on, by that time, if you're a parent, you'll be like, okay, I'm made it on my job.
Right.
I want to focus all of my kids. And if I can focus and help and build them, even though it's their money, but it's helping everybody in the family. I don't have to work anymore as a parent, but you're just like that kid that does YouTube, the Ryan's World.
I see he was in a newsletter just recently where they said they're looking to, so he doesn't have to be in the camera as much. They created cartoon characters or figures or something like that, so that'll kind of keep it up. But I've been following Ryan's journey, and he's I think the highest paid YouTuber in general, if I'm not mistaken.
I think now it changed. Now it's a girl now. Anastasia or something like that. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
She's like 8 or 9.
That's crazy.
She's the top now. Like 35 million. It's like 35. I was like, when I see this, I'm like, come on, man, we cannot put an excuse on ourselves that we like, how is that kid making that happen? I know God gave us a gift to every single one of us, but as a kid, they don't care. As a kid, you already know if I fail or not. It's okay because they got a long time. But we have to not see that, oh, I got a long time. No, man, if you can start even earlier, why not?
Exactly. No, and that's good. And that actually brings me to one of my next things where, kids change their minds a lot. They might like this today, and then next week they're doing this, month they're doing this. So how can, as a parent, am I just trying every idea that my kid got and said, hey, we're going to make $1 million, or am I waiting for a little while to see if they really like it? What advice or take would you have on that?
Man, that is a good question too, because I think I was not fighting against this because since my daughter is in Mexico, I remember at the beginning, she said she wanted to do baseball. So boom, she did baseball and she was doing good and everything, but then she got hit by the ball and she was like, this is not for me, this hurt. So she was out. So I'm going with this, that us as parents here, sometimes we want to put our kids to do things that we didn't do when we were young. So say you have boys or girls, you're like, I got to put my boy to play football or soccer. And truthfully, your kids don't want to do that. That's why you got to ask them, hey, what is it that you really want to do in school? Do you really want to play soccer, football? Do you want to be a runner? Ask them first because they know what they want. But when you push them, they are kids. They're going to obey you because you're the mom and dad. Oh, yeah, I'll play soccer. And then that's a bad move because then when your kids are not doing great, the coaches is telling you that your kid is not running, he doesn't want to be there. You're like, oh, it was a waste of money. And then you're getting into your kid and screaming at him. It was not his fault. It was your fault or my fault that we didn't sit down and say, hey, do you really want to do it? Not because now it changes the scenario. Because now he's like, hey, Dad, man, I love running. Okay, right. Now you can go out there to the school and make sure that, talk to the people that are in the running system and then put them in there and he's going to be happy or she's going to be happy without them knowing. And they're building. Now, that's when it happens, like they try it and they might be like, the running wasn't for me. That's fine. But now you're not mad because you talk to him. Oh, it's okay, son. We talked. So what's your next move?
Exactly.
What do you want to do next? Then
do the same thing in business.
Do the same thing in business. Yeah, the same thing because in business and the kids, they don't know. Just like I sat down with the parents, with the kids, the G-boys, and the dad told me, man, they like singing and they're selling it, but I don't know if in here in 3 or 5 years, they might still like that. And he's like, that's why I went in and taught them everything that they know about business right now. They might not know everything yet, but they know how to handle things. So one of the boys says, I don't want to sing anymore, but the two do. That's fine. The other two can still sing. The other one can roll with whatever he wants to do because he knows.
Right.
Because they're kids. But sometimes you see kids and they're like, they roll with it. They really love and it's their passion. They're going to go with it. They might never change it. And if they do, maybe in the 20s. Right. But they're already old, That's okay. It's not old.
Hold on now, man.
They're not old, but they now they have a conscience. That's even one wrong too. We all have a conscience, but you know what I mean. That now they're older. And they're like, oh, I'm not 10 anymore. If I make a mistake, it's my fault. But as a younger kid, if you make a mistake, don't be mad at them. They're kids.
Right.
They're gonna make a mistake, and it's better for them at that age they make that mistake and for them to fail so you can tell them, see how it feels? Do you really want to keep on going doing that? Oh yeah. I want you to know that in life you always gonna fail so many times. I'm still failing. I still get back up. You're still failing. We still gotta get back up. Sometimes we're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And you're like, why? And that's you're leading by example to them that they know now, oh man, my mom and dad said, I failed so many times, I got to get back up.
Right. And they learn at a young age too. Yeah. Starting young age.
And you're not by yourself. You're not alone. You can ask for help.
Right. No. Exactly. That's really good. That's really good. So when a parent, let's say a parent, their kids into entrepreneurship, like you said, it's a lot of different people that they can follow online, get tuned into online. Would you say that there's a specific maybe software or channel or person that they should gauge into? Let's say I have a kid from 6 to middle school, so I think 6 to 10, 6 to 12.
Oh yes, just like myself, like what I'm doing, I'm trying to reach out those kids from like 7 to 12.
Right.
And I know that I'm doing that part, and I know there's other people that are helping other kids from 12 to like 16,
Right.
and then there's some other people like myself that are helping from 18 to 20. So that's pretty good that we're doing this, because I'm not the only one doing 7 to 12, but whoever they go, that's fine, because we're actually helping the youth. So the next step is like, all right, they finish like our little journey. Now they move and they can go to the next person. And then they doing that
Is
journey.
there like a hub for this person? Do I just got to search Kidpreneur? Like, how would I find
How would you
these
find them
people?
in?
Yeah.
That's a good question. There's no hub in there. Like, let me tell you, they're starting with me, since I already know the connection. So I would tell the parents, hey, I know these 5 people that they're doing this from the age of, 12 to 13, 12 to 15. That's up to you as a parent to decide who you wanna. I'm giving you the names because it's the trusted ones that I know and that they're helping the youth. The next step for them, and then you can use them. Because if they just jump, they're gonna be like, whoa, it was like me. They found me. Now, like, they gotta do their work and diligence. Who do we put our kids now? They're 13. They already passed what Jesus teach them by a young age. We need somebody now that is teaching the older ones now.
Right.
Yeah, so I like giving that option. Hey, here's the 5 people that I know, and that's better, because now they got 5. They're like, oh, whoa, he's trustable.
Right.
I know that these finance he gave us are trustable. Now it's the kids. Like, the kids,
Who
set them
like?
up.
Yeah.
Set them up to go with the 5 of them, and let them decide, because you cannot just let them go with one, because you go with 5, one of those may have a character and may be good, and the kids are like, I like him because he's
So it's like a kid coach.
Like a kid coach, yeah, like a kid coach. There we go.
The kid looking for coaching. The kid is looking for the right
I didn't
coach.
see it that
so
way.
The kid is like the kid coach, so the kid picks whichever coach they like. That's
Yeah, because I think I said that like the first time before I even had them in Zoom and Break Jew and other people. I told the kids at the beginning when I had 8 or 9, they're still 8 or 9, and I said, hey, y'all don't have to come to me. I just building this up, and I know we build their relationship. This is me. You already know who I am, but I know there's other people out there. But if you want to go with them, that's fine. I'm not gonna be over here like, oh, and be mad. No, they like the way I was, the character, so they stick to me, knowing that there's more out there. And some of them go, and that's fine, because say I do it on Sunday, there might be somebody else that does it like on a Wednesday, and he's doing the same thing. That's fine. Let them go too, because they are bringing other speakers. And they have a different mindset than me, but now they're learning from me and him, or me and her. Wow. So now you're speeding up the kids' mentality. So now you kind of give them like more wings. Like, oh man, I'm not gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna start today, and I'm gonna empower my friends that they have this mentality, not to wait for tomorrow, to do it today.
Exactly.
Just like us,
You're starting kids. Yeah. Everything you're saying is entrepreneurship 101 for an adult, but it's so crazy to me how we're talking about it with kids 6, 7 years old, starting that same mindset of personal development. It's crazy. Would there be any books or anything you would recommend to a parent that a kid can maybe check out or look into, or any maybe another YouTube channel of a successful kid besides Ryan with the toys?
There's books. I don't have them exactly in my mind, but there's like one-on-one finance. You can find this in
one-on-one finance.
Yeah, for kids. It's one-on-one finance for kids. And I think there's a book that that billionaire, who's that coach for the Mavericks? Damn, I forgot his name.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. I will let her know. But he wrote a book for the kids, and he's a billionaire. So I'm like, he already made it. This book might help them too. And not only that, if you can find any, I don't know the names of the kids, but if you can find any kid that it's doing something in YouTube and it's consistently, and you see that they have a lot of followers already, let your kids follow them and see what they're doing. Because some of the kids, like Ryan's World, is doing a lot of funny things. Some of the kids are showing you toys. Some of the kids might be doing like funny things, with the camera. And it's different aspects. So let your kid figure out what he wants to do on the base of that. Because like I said, even though he might be doing something like a real business, like I'm selling a lemonade or I'm selling t-shirts, but he's like, hey, I want to implement this with video. How about I let him know how I made these shirts, or who gave me the name? Right. Now you're adding more to your brand. I want to create a hat with my name too, and especially with the kids and having all that. you know, and then they're going to school, having their friends wearing their hats and shirts. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's cool, right? There's so many ways that now that we're grown up and we're learning and going to masterminds and stuff like that, they're like, man, I want to implement everything to the kids, man. Because if we implement everything to the kids and to the parents, hey, the parents too, they're gonna be like, you know what? I don't really want to work on my job anymore, man. If my kid wants to do that, how about I jump in it too?
Right.
On when I was a kid, I really wanted to do this, and now I'm like 35, and why not? But it's that fear and that risk. But when you feel that fear so much in your heart, that's when you jump. When you feel that fear and you think that, that's when you jump and don't look back, man. Jump and don't look back.
Teaching it to kids, that's crazy.
Yes, don't look back. And tell these kids that, and some of them, they're like, but I'm at 7. I'm like, that's fine, because you're still not looking back, because say you started your t-shirt and you're like, I don't want it, right? And then you're like, I'm not doing lemonade. You're not looking back like doing something different anymore. You're still on the entrepreneurship path, but doing something different.
Oh my God! You're not selling lemonade no more. Now you selling toys.
Now you're selling toys, man. Then you sell your shoes.
You sell shoes. Oh man, it's so funny. Oh, this has been such a fun episode. Thank you so much for coming on, Jesus. But you gotta let them know, where can they find you online or anywhere to just get more information about your different services and products?
Yes. You can find me anywhere in social media as Yeraldy Media Network. It's with the Y. Yeraldy, and you already know, Media Network. All of them, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of those. I have all my stuff there, all my podcasts, and and for the kids, it's all Eyes on Them Foundation. Everything that I do with the kids, I created a different brand. So there is you just gonna see things with kids and all of the things like that. The kid podcasting, you can find them on YouTube. Watch those videos; they're freaking amazing. I think I cried when I started listening to these kids talking about the rules of something that I didn't even know. I was like, this 9-year-old talking about rules of something. I was like, okay, this.
What's the name of it on YouTube?
The same thing. All Eyes on Them Foundation.
All Eyes on Them Foundation.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All Eyes on Them Foundation.
Okay, no, that's good.
And for me, it's Yeraldy Media Network. And any questions, you'll find me there. Let me know. I'm now working on a lot of reels because that's where it's going down now. That's gonna be another episode.
No, definitely got to get the kids on the reels. But no, this was definitely super, super fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.